Listen carefully. This is not a loud story. This is not a fast story. This is a quiet story. A story for people who think too much at night. A story for people who work hard but feel invisible. A story for people who are tired of waiting for support. Welcome to my voice of stories. Today's story is about a person who had no backup plan, no strong connections, and no one cheering for him. He did not win quickly. He did not win loudly. He learned how to stand alone when life became silent. If you have ever felt lost, ignored, or left behind, stay with this story, because sometimes the strongest victories are built in silence. Now listen. The room was quiet, not peaceful, just quiet. A small room with one table, one chair, and a weak yellow light hanging above. Outside, the world was moving fast, voices mixing, people chasing something they could not fully explain. Inside the room, a young man sat alone. No camera, no applause, no one watching, just him and the sound of his own breathing. He was not special, not rich, not famous. He was tired in a way sleep could not fix. Every day repeated itself. Wake up, work, return, sit in silence. Sometimes a question arrived without warning. Is this all my life will be? The room never answered. He remembered how people spoke to him, not cruel, just careless. You think too much. You stay too quiet. You should be more confident. He never argued, not because he agreed, but because he felt unseen. Once he had dreams, clear dreams, dreams that made his chest feel light, but reality slowly changed them. Reality does not shout or warn. It presses down gently, day after day. Bills arrived, responsibilities grew, expectations followed. Small failures stayed longer in his mind than small wins. At night, when the world slept, his thoughts woke up. What if I fail? What if I waste my life? What if I never become enough? These thoughts did not visit, they lived with him. He reached for his phone and scrolled without interest. People his age looked successful. New jobs, happy faces, perfect moments. He did not feel jealousy. He felt distance. He placed the phone face down and let the silence return. Silence was uncomfortable because it showed truth. No noise to hide behind, no distraction to escape into, only him. He stood up and faced the mirror. His eyes looked tired, but honest. I am alone, he said softly. The words did not break him, they grounded him. For the first time, he did not fight that feeling. Being alone was not the real pain. Being lost was. He sat back down, choosing stillness over noise. Minutes passed. His breathing slowed. His thoughts softened. Then a clear thought formed. No one is coming. Fear touched him for a second, then relief followed. No one was coming to save him. No one was coming to push him. No one was coming to guide him. Everything depended on him. Waiting suddenly felt heavy and useless. He thought about tomorrow, not his entire future. What could he do tomorrow alone? Not change everything, just take one honest step. He opened an old notebook on the table, half used and forgotten. He looked at the blank page for a long moment. Then his hand moved and wrote one simple line. I will build myself quietly. No promise to the world, no announcement, just a decision made in silence. The next morning did not feel different. No sudden energy, no loud motivation. The same light entered the room. The same walls stood still, but inside him, something had shifted quietly. He woke up before the alarm, not excited, just awake. He sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the floor. The old habit tried to pull him back into thinking too much. He stopped it. He remembered the line he wrote, "Build quietly." He did not tell anyone about his decision, not friends, not family, not even himself in strong words. He simply began. That day he worked without checking the time again and again. He made mistakes, simple ones, embarrassing ones. He felt slow, he felt behind, but he did not stop. When his mind said enough, he stayed 5 minutes more. Only 5. That was his rule, not to break himself, just to stretch a little. Days passed, quiet days. No posts, no updates, no proof for anyone else. Some days felt heavy, some nights felt longer. There were moments when he wondered if his effort even mattered. When nothing changes, doubt grows fast. But invisibility had one strange advantage: no pressure to impress, no fear of judgment. He could focus deeply. Slowly he began to notice patterns, how distraction steals hours without asking, how excuses sound intelligent but change nothing, how discipline feels boring but builds strength. People around him stayed the same. They complained about life. They waited for luck. They talked about plans they never started. He listened with respect. He spoke very little, not because he felt superior, but because he was busy becoming consistent. Every evening he returned to the same room, same chair, same silence. But the silence no longer scared him. It felt like space, space to think clearly, space to grow without noise. He realized something important during those quiet hours. Winning alone does not mean rejecting people. It means not depending on them for courage. Courage grows from repeated effort, from showing up when no one is watching, from choosing progress over comfort again and again. He looked at his hands one night. They were tired, but steady. He closed his eyes for a moment, not to escape, but to breathe. Tomorrow would test him again. So would the next week. So would the next year. But now he knew one thing. He was no longer waiting. He was walking, even if the path was empty. Time moved, not fast, not slow, just steady. Weeks passed without any big sign. No sudden success, no praise, only routine. Wake up, work, return, repeat. Some mornings he felt strong. Some mornings he felt empty. On the empty days, doubt spoke louder. It asked quiet questions. Why are you doing this? Who are you proving this to? What if nothing changes? He did not answer immediately. He kept working. That was new. Earlier, doubt stopped him. Now doubt walked beside him. Some days he lost focus. He wasted time. He felt guilty at night. But instead of quitting, he corrected himself the next day. No drama, no self-hate, just adjustment. Slowly, his mind learned something important. Progress is not loud. Growth does not announce itself. It hides inside repetition. One evening, he noticed a small change. He could sit longer without distraction. His thoughts felt clearer. Problems felt smaller. Not gone, just manageable. He stopped expecting motivation. He relied on structure. When he did not feel like working, he worked anyway, gently, without force. Pain came too, mental pain, the kind that makes you question your worth. He did not share it with anyone, not because he was proud, because he was learning to carry it. Carrying pain quietly made him stronger than complaining ever did. One night he realized something that surprised him. He no longer needed someone to believe in him. He believed enough to continue. That belief was not loud or confident. It was calm, and calm felt powerful. Pressure slowly changed its shape. It was no longer sharp fear. It became a heavy weight that stayed all day. He carried it to work. He carried it back home. Some days it sat on his chest. Some days it followed him into sleep. He understood now that effort alone does not remove pain. Pain stays when growth begins. There were moments when he wanted to stop, not because he was lazy, but because he was tired of being strong. On those days, memories returned. Old failures, old words people said, old moments when he felt small. The mind tried to convince him that quitting would be relief, but he had learned something by then. Relief is temporary. Regret lasts longer. So he stayed, not with force, with patience. He reduced his speed but did not stop. He accepted bad days without judging himself. That acceptance changed everything. When you stop fighting yourself, energy returns naturally. One evening, after a difficult day, he sat alone and felt the weight clearly. Instead of escaping, he faced it. He let the discomfort sit. He breathed slowly. He realized pain was not his enemy. Pain was information. It showed where growth was happening. From that day, he stopped asking, "Why is this hard?" He asked, "What is this teaching me?" That question made him stronger than motivation ever could. He became quieter around people, not distant, just selective. He protected his energy. He chose rest when needed. He chose effort when required. Balance slowly formed. The world outside did not change, but his reaction did. Problems came. He handled them calmly. Criticism appeared. He listened without breaking. For the first time, he felt grounded. Not happy all the time, not confident every moment, but stable, and stability felt like power. Small changes finally became visible, not to the world, but to him. He noticed it in the way he woke up. Less resistance, more acceptance. He noticed it in the way he worked. Fewer excuses, better focus. The days were still ordinary, but his relationship with them had changed. He no longer waited for the perfect mood. He moved with whatever mood showed up. Some days he felt light, some days heavy. He worked anyway. That consistency created quiet confidence, not the kind that speaks, the kind that stands. One afternoon, he realized he was no longer afraid of slow progress. Earlier, slowness felt like failure. Now it felt like direction. He understood that rushing had only made him tired, while patience was making him precise. He stopped comparing his timeline with others. Comparison had drained him for years. Letting it go gave him space to breathe. There were still moments of doubt, but they no longer controlled him. Doubt knocked, and he answered calmly, "I am still working." That was enough. He began to trust the process he had built. Trust did not mean certainty. It meant commitment without daily proof. One evening, he looked back at the past months, not to celebrate, just to observe. He saw effort where there used to be avoidance, discipline where there used to be chaos, calm where there used to be fear. The change was real, quiet, earned. He understood then that winning alone does not look dramatic. It looks boring from the outside, but inside it feels solid. He smiled slightly, not from excitement, but from clarity. For the first time in a long while, he did not ask when success would come. He knew he was already becoming someone stronger than before. The room looked the same, but he was not the same person sitting there anymore. The silence that once scared him now felt familiar, friendly. He no longer needed noise to feel alive. He no longer needed approval to feel worthy. He had learned something important through time, pain, and repetition. Growth does not arrive with celebration. It arrives quietly, like understanding. He thought about the days he almost quit, the nights he felt invisible, the mornings he showed up without motivation. None of it was wasted. Every quiet effort had shaped him. He understood now that winning alone is not about standing above others. It is about standing steady when no one is clapping. Life would still test him. Problems would still come. Some days would still feel heavy. But he trusted himself now, not because he was perfect, because he was consistent. He stood up, took a deep breath, and looked ahead, not with excitement, with calm certainty. If you are listening to this story and you see yourself in it, remember this: you do not need to move fast. You just need to keep moving, quietly, honestly, on your own terms. This story was shared with you by My Voice of Stories. If this journey felt real to you, stay connected. Subscribe to My Voice of Stories for more calm, human stories that help you grow in silence.